Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Dr. Arnold Nierenberg. I've been a clinical psychologist licensed to practice in the state of California since 1974, and I've been in the field for 50 years. Been on this earth for over 80 years, and it's my pleasure to be in your presence. I can regard it as a privilege to be able to share with you these insights and lessons and inspirations of a lifetime. It's intended not only to give you information, but to inspire thoughts and insights and how to apply it to your own lives as well. It's my intention to uplift you for the rest of your lives and for you to be able to pass this on to your descendants. That's my intention. The title of today's presentation is Strengthening the Foundation of Society. Strengthening the Foundation of Society, the 10 dimensions. We're going to go into what those 10 dimensions are. We're going to talk about how to strengthen the foundation of society. Now, this presentation does not represent any one particular religious approach or one particular political approach or one philosophical approach. It's meant to stimulate dialogue between people of like mind who want to improve their society, improve their family life, improve the world by strengthening the foundation. The idea is to release the society-building powers that are inherent in all decent organizations and all decent people. And when I'm talking about the people in this, I'm talking about people who are basically decent and normal, because you always have different aberrations. So the idea is all religions and all organizations can have a good dialogue from this. And it's for believers who believe in God, but it's also for atheists and agnostics. So it crosses again all lines to create a dialogue. Like-minded people could have a good consultation about it with the idea of improving all our lives on earth. The two foundations that we're talking about, one is honor, and I'm defining honor as loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined in what I call the 4 commandments of honor, while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. Loyalty to your highest constructive value as enshrined in the 4 commandments of honor, while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. And the 4 commandments of honor that I'm talking about, it's really what I call them commandments. It's really commanding the honor that's within ourselves to arise in a consciousness so it can manifest in thought, word, and action. And the 4 commandments of honor that we all believe in, this is universal, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, whether you're Democrat, Republican, all religious scriptures have quotes that basically will support these 4 commandments of honor. So the 4 commandments that are already within ourselves are these. I wish you well. That's universal. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. This helps negate the blaming and empowers ourselves to realize if I co-created this, then I can co-create something better. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. It's a different way of looking at the trials and tribulations that we have, where we see it as, well, outwardly it looks like fire and vengeance, but inwardly we recognize it as fire and light, as it's been said by the divine teachers. So we're grateful for the power that we gain from hardship. It's going to make us wiser. It's going to give us more compassion for others. And the 4th commandment it depends whether you believe in God or not. If you believe in God as I do, it will be, God, your wish is my only wish. That's consistent with all religions, every religion. No religion will go against that. But if a person doesn't believe in God or doesn't want to address God, it's, I seek always to serve my highest values. So those are 4 commandments of honor. So again, honor is loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined in those 4 commandments of honor, while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. So that eliminates so-called honor killings, or killing in the name of religion, or killing and tearing down other people, other political viewpoints or other philosophical viewpoints. That's eliminated. under this definition of honor. The primary demand of honor is seeking the truth in all matters. Seeking the truth in all matters. And the oneness of humankind is a truth that can no longer be denied. The oneness of humankind is a truth that can no longer be denied. All people want something that's good for their children. They want them to be safe, secure, get a good education, to be healthy. All people want to seek health. They want to enjoy their families. They want to be productive. They want to do something meaningful in their lives. It doesn't matter what race, religion, ethnicity. All people want to do something worthwhile and meaningful in their life. They may not know how to at a certain time, but there's a yearning to do that. A yearning to manifest our callings and our destiny that's latent within the identity of all of us as human beings. Now, as we're talking about this, we're going to talk about the interaction of the individual, the family, the institutions of society, and society itself. How all of this will then be the interplay of the four dimensions, the four aspects. To begin with, I'm going to start with commercial enterprises, money, business. We all have to make a livelihood. The basic concept here is honor before everything. Honor before money. Now, to get the concept internalized, that's happened within the family. The parents have to teach that to their children. But to get there, we have to redefine success. So I'm going to say something about success. What is success and what's not? And you're going to see that you agree with this. I know you will. I've said it to enough people. Everyone agrees with it. You could have somebody. You can have a woman who's gorgeous, brilliant, great career. But if she doesn't have honor, she's a loser, a failure. You can have a man, very handsome, healthy, strong, multi-billionaire, great career, beautiful homes. But if he doesn't have honor, he's a loser. He's a failure. So we need to bring into the family life and into our educational system that success is measured by honor. Only honor defines success. Only honor. Then, of course, we want to make money, look good, be healthy. So success is only defined by honor. And then we want to achieve all we can, academically, intellectually, marry well, marry somebody that we're attracted to and has good character, all the rest. But only honor defines success. So then, that requires a re-education, because as it stands right now, success for many is defined by money. A person has a great car, beautiful spouse, great career, healthy, strong. So we really need to go to the truth of the matter, where if that person didn't have honor, he was a failure, he was a loser. Let's take another step related to that. I would say if you look at a man, without honor, he's not a man. He's a male. He was born with the genitalia of a male. That doesn't make him a man. Only honor can make a male a man. It doesn't matter, if you can beat up a lot of people, make more money. That doesn't make a man. That just makes a brutal, thuggish male. Only honor. Now, once you're a man, which means you have honor, then of course you want to be able to defend others and make a livelihood and all the rest. But only honor makes you a man. Same goes for a woman. A woman is just a female. Only honor truly makes her a woman. So we're talking about honor then. We're going back into making a livelihood. So once we have what success is, everybody wants to be successful, whatever civilization, whatever society we're in, whatever success, definition of success, everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants that respect and esteem. Everybody wants that. So now what we have is a person receives that respect and esteem because he or she is honorable. They manifest honor in their words and their actions, which means they manifest it in their thoughts. Now, how do we do that? Well, we repeat the 4 commandments of honor 3 times a day, every day, and we make a pledge to the way of honor. The pledge goes this way. As a disciple of honor, I pledge myself all the days of my life to the 4 commandments of honor, and I'll teach them to those I love. I'll repeat them every morning, afternoon, and evening, and listen to myself recite them. Now, as an aside, just so you know, I've interviewed over 1,100 people who have taken that pledge. 95% of the people feel good right away. 95% of the people feel more hopeful right away. And over 92% feel more meaning in their lives immediately. So the pledge itself is very therapeutic and uplifts people. Then you want to maximize the probability that we're going to apply those commandments in a given situation, which then what we use, what I call the bridge. It's a bridge between the realm of honor and the realm of reality. The bridge is this. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So we do the 4 commandments of honor and then the bridge. God, your wish is my only wish. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? If someone doesn't believe in God, they would substitute, I seek always to serve my highest values instead of the commandment with God. So there we have an honorable way of life. This needs to be taught in the schools. It needs to be taught by the parents. Part of honor, of course, is respect. Very important. The respect. The Son of Honor, one of the rays of the Son of Honor is respect. And we're going to talk about how that affects our educational system and the family life. Right now, we're still talking about making a livelihood. So within this context of the oneness of humankind and honor, the primacy of honor before everything, which brings me to the Supremacy of Honor code, which is this. Honor before pride, honor before anger, honor before sex, honor before money, honor before fear, honor before everything, honor before life itself. Now that's then the priorities in life. And the esteem and respect in society, both in terms of the educational institutions, the family life, all give that primacy. Because to be a truly successful human being means leading an honorable life, and it begins with honorable thoughts. So if a person's getting negative thoughts about somebody in some situation, balance it with, don't fight it, but balance it with an honorable thought such as, I wish you well. Or getting a negative thought about somebody because they feel that person did something wrong to them, seeing, well, did I co-create that situation? If they did, they recognize I did co-create it by this way. I apologize, please forgive me for my adding fuel to this fire. Because honor would demand that. So this brings us to honor before money. So the Supremacy of Honor code. Now, the disciple of honor takes the pledge to bring it into themselves and their loved ones. When a person becomes a devotee of honor and pledges to do the Supremacy of Honor code at least once a day, the pledge goes this way. As a devotee of honor, I pledge myself all the days of my life to the Supremacy of Honor code, and I'll bring it to the world for a more just society. Honor demands justice and fairness. So then when we talk about making a livelihood, that's going to then affect management. The key factor in management is being fair. You can teach all the methods you want of management. Many management methods are all good, but none of them will work without fairness. None of them. I call it the law of the key factor, fairness, which comes from an honorable life. That's bringing honor into the business, corporate enterprise, the commercial enterprise. Fairness. You know, you can get employees will do pretty much what you want as long as they see it as fair, or at least it's not unfair. They might say, I don't like it, but you know what? It's not unfair. I'm going to do it. Now, the lack of fairness in the workplace leads to absenteeism, theft, litigation, loss of morale. So it's actually good for business to manage with fairness. And we have fairness training, which is bringing honor into the workplace. So you have fairness training in terms of management, and you have honor before money. We all want to make that money, but we're talking about strengthening the foundation of society, and money is one of those foundations. Commerce, the exchange of goods and services, foundation. And we're putting honor before money. Without those values, which should then be reinforced by the media, the education. We're going to talk about that, but the family, when that's being praised, the media can do that. Let me give an example on CNN. They have CNN heroes. They talk about people who've done good things, helping the poor, the destitute, really sacrificing themselves, and they give them awards or give donations to them. They give them some large sum of money to further their charitable works. So it needs to be that kind of recognition. Livelihood, bringing honor into livelihood. Honor before money. Now, media is another huge, so one dimension is livelihood, one of the 10 dimensions. Another is the media. There's a saying, if it bleeds, it reads. Well, certainly we need to know if there's going to be a war between Ukraine and Russia, or there's a war here, or there's a COVID pandemic. We need to know about these things. If it bleeds, it reads. That's a governing factor in the media. But there needs to be, once we put honor before everything, there's so many honorable actions, so many wonderful billions and trillions of episodes of people doing kind things for each other every day, all day. They may not look spectacular, but there's so much goodness in the people. Now, even with the problems we're having on earth, there's so much goodness and courtesy and decency between people. In the little things that go on day by day. It could just be somebody pick up some trash on the freeway, or somebody letting somebody else cut in front of them, or somebody helping a neighbor jump his car to get it started. There's trillions of these all day, every day. Now, some will be more newsworthy than others. There certainly should be a balance between showing honor. The media could help with that when they're putting, there's a case too. If it bleeds, it reads, so they want to get the viewership, and then that way you can get more ads. Well, the priority being honor, well, the honorable thing is to show a balanced story. There are terrible things happening. We do need to be aware of these dangers, but there's so much goodness, and that needs to be shown in the media. So as long as you're putting money before everything, the money's in bad news. People pay for the bad news. It's appealing to the lowest common denominator. So there was the media would then be portraying honor that's going on, recognizing people who are honorable. And it's not always politicians and generals. You look at statues. So usually you have some general, somebody who was in the wars, and he's got a gun, he's on his horse, he's doing whatever, he's in a tank. All right, they're heroes, absolutely, and should be recognized for that. Well, you have somebody coming over who's cleans homes all day, she's honest, doesn't take anything from the people's homes, really tries to do a good job, helps to support her family and they're poor. Well, that's highly honorable. You know, perhaps there would be some statues of cleaning ladies with a vacuum cleaner or broom or something. Sounds odd in a way, but that's what it would take to really get a balance in this thing. It's not just who could be the most bloodthirsty and the most fierce killer, but also the people who are sacrificing themselves. Or a truck driver. You take a truck driver. I see a lot of truck drivers in my private practice. They work day and night to support their families. They drive all day, work hard, have to feel micromanaged, have to deal with management pressures, come home tired, just eat a little something, go to sleep, and the same thing the next day. They're sacrificing their lives to support their families. And it's the lifeblood of the nation, bringing the goods to the supermarkets from the farms where we'd be lost without them. Might have statues of truck drivers in their trucks because we're honoring virtue. We're honoring people who are making sacrifices to do good in their lives. So there we have the monetary commercial enterprise is one of the dimensions, the media, and certainly the media can be reinforcing this, and parents should be reinforcing their children. They see the brother lets his sister go in the car first, or he lets her have the bigger cupcake, or he lets her go first in line ahead of him when trying to get into an amusement park. And they say, "Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful." Now, right now, if a kid gets an A at school, there's a lot of praise. "Oh, he's got the A's. That's wonderful." Well, yeah, that's good. But really, there's so many wonderful things that children are doing all the time that need to be recognized and reinforced when we understand that the primacy of honor is right from the family. Now, go to the family, the institution of the family. Children need to show respect. The parent has to demonstrate that unconditional love for the children. It's there normally. A normal parent will die for his child, take a bullet for his or her child. Needs a kidney, will give their kidney for that child. And then they need to show that in so many ways. They can do it in action, number one, and certainly verbally, in hugs and affection, all of that, where the child feels secure. And of course, something that most people don't realize, one of the best things you can do for your children is to create a good marriage. As men, take good care of your wives, wives taking good care of their husbands. That gives security to the children. So then reinforcing honorable behaviors. Because we then start tuning into this dimension. Because right now it's along the lines, well, he gets a good grade, he's going to get a good job, he's going to make money. It comes down to that definition of success. Or let's say your son or daughter on a baseball team and they make a home run. Wow, wonderful, wonderful, let's go celebrate. Well, yeah, okay, that's good. That's a good thing. But if it's a home run above all else, and let's say the child's really good, it gets older, becomes a professional athlete and shooting up steroids, well, the whole reward is for not making home runs or touchdowns or whatever. Was it honorable? They had an unfair advantage over their competitors. So now we go to sports and entertainment. Very important. Many movies have no inspiration to it, don't show anything that would reflect honor or inspiration. You can have a movie with shooting or whatever, but if you have somebody heroic, he sacrifices his life for his friends, he jumps on a grenade to protect the other people, that's honorable. We need more of that in the media. So once we put the primacy of honor, then the media goes in that direction. So the heroes become people who are honorable. Bring honor into the media and then into sports and entertainment. You look at sports, for example. There was a case where this one girl was a softball game and one girl for one team knocked a home run. She started to run, she got a twisted ankle. This is a true case. So she couldn't run the bases. So the other team picked her up on their shoulders and carried her around the bases. They acknowledged that what she did, and even though they were the opposition, they carried her through the bases on their shoulder. She had that home run. Well, that's honor in sports, bringing honor into sports and entertainment. You have what's called the Palavan, and the Persians, they've been superb wrestlers for centuries. There was a case of one wrestler, his opponent's right arm was damaged, got hurt, and so he didn't use his right arm when he was wrestling him. He still beat him, but he didn't want to take advantage of the other person's injury. This is them bringing honor into sports. So the other part is you have people getting tremendous strength and power building himself up as weightlifting. I myself am a world champion powerlifter and bodybuilder, but nobody ever talked about honor. So as a strength athlete, as a power athlete, anybody who's learning martial arts or boxing or weightlifting would be as an honor athlete, I pledge myself by all that is sacred to me to not using my knowledge and power for unjust causes, but only use it for constructive and honorable purposes. Bringing the honor athlete. Because people respect celebrities and athletes, and then they're committed to the way of honor. They're putting honor before winning. Because success is defined by, of course, you want to win and do your best, but we're putting honor first. We're bringing honor into sports and entertainment, into the music, where the music's uplifting. Certainly, we all have egos and sexuality, but if the music's only priming that, stimulating that, that's not enough. It also needs to bring out the spirit, to bring out our higher nature. We all have an animal nature, but we also have a higher nature. You can just say lower nature, higher nature, or you could say lower nature, divine nature, lower nature, the honor nature. And in the family life, we have the primacy of honor, and we're putting honor before sex. It means not only in terms of the physical act, but a man really would, we'll talk about the man first, by putting honor first. If a beautiful woman's walking by and he's married, he'll turn this way. If this eye wants to check her out, he'll close it. If he's talking to her and he feels some chemistry, he'll say, my wife is sufficient unto me, my honor is sufficient unto me. Doesn't feed it. Now, by not looking at the woman, doesn't matter. He's not doing it because his wife is there. He'll do it even if he's alone, because he's putting honor first. Doesn't mean he doesn't have some thoughts and feelings at times, but he really is committed to the way of honor, bringing honor into his own being, into his thoughts. So in terms of the family life. So it's permeating everything. And the same for the woman. Now, for a woman, she can misuse her beauty. A woman can manipulate men, get power and dominate through her beauty. Possibly reveal cleavage, tight clothing, whatever. Certainly a woman wants to be beautiful, no question about it. But that's the responsibility to have that beauty, to use it honorably. Certainly, you don't want to make somebody's wife jealous because you're attracting the attention of her husband, or you don't want to make your own man, your husband or boyfriend jealous because you're getting other guys checking you out. There's a lot of responsibility to that beauty. It's good for a woman to be physically beautiful, exercise, makeup, everything. But realize the responsibility that goes with beauty, and to deal with your beauty in an honorable way. So that's them going even into the idea of cosmetics and the beauty. Basically, it's an inner cosmetology where we bring honor into how the beauty itself is used. Just like men take a pledge to manifest honor in the use of their power and strength, a woman takes a pledge of honor to use her beauty in an honorable way. Now so we talk about education, entertainment and sports, the family, and certainly the foundation is the individual, being a disciple of honor, being a devotee of honor, and recognizing the oneness of humankind. Now we talk about another institution, which is the food industry and health industry, food and health. Certainly when we're putting honor before money, we're not going to want to produce cigarettes. Somebody says, I got to find a way to turn this out. As we know that this is going to kill people. So for me to make money selling cigarettes or exporting this death all over, there's no honor in that. What honor is there in producing and selling cigarettes, given we know how it causes cancer and heart disease and everything else? There's no honor in it. But if you're putting money first, if the bottom line is always money, and money matters, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Money matters a lot. But we're coming to strengthening the foundation of society where honor matters more. So, well, then I've got to get away from this industry of producing these cigarettes, or some heavy-laden, sugar-laden food like Twinkies or whatever. What honor is there in doing that? So when we're putting honor first, people aren't going to want to do this. So if people own cigarette industries, will diversify into producing something healthier. I mean, a hospital, the cost of insurance and the hospital costs are astronomical. A lot of it could be prevented if people were eating healthier foods. But right now, the food manufacturers, well, they're buying it. You know, it's law of supply and demand. There's a demand. I'm going to supply it. The fact that it kills you, that's on you. You want these cigarettes? I'm not making you smoke it. That's on you. Well, they say, I can make money on it. I'm going to make money. I'm not making you do it. In terms of medicine, allopathic medicine is amazing. What we have with MRIs and X-rays and the surgeries we have and the pharmacy industry and the pills that we have for hypertension and chemotherapy, amazing. But to bring honor into the medical and health industry, we have to pay attention to all the natural cures that we have. If money is all that matters, then of course you want the pills and always have expensive medicine. But there's tons and hundreds of thousands of studies of natural food supplements and foods that have curative healing properties. It's a fact. It's not just, myths that have been around. The evidence is overwhelming that it makes a huge difference in terms of health, vitality, longevity. It's incontrovertible. If we follow science, part of leading an honorable life is being reasonable. If you use reason and you're fair-minded, you say, yes, this works. These natural cures, natural approach, they work. They have less harmful side effects. But there are times when we definitely need the allopathic. So medicine would not be so driven by money. Right now, medicine is driven by money. It is a business. Go to medical school, it's a huge expense. Set up a practice and get the hospitals need a tremendous amount of money for these $1 million machines and whatnot. But if money comes first, which has happened, what kind of medicine are we going to have? It really has to be honor first, where the patient, the human being, comes first. And certainly we want to make money. Absolutely. Making money is wonderful. And then to use it for your family and loved ones, and to enjoy life, and to help other people. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing when money is used in that way. But it's a problem if honor doesn't come first. Sort of even like the whole system of capitalism. Wonderful system. But without honor, it can be misused to exploit people terribly. So capitalism with honor, so we're talking about in terms of a political economic system, would be capitalism with honor. As a matter of fact, any system we had, if it was with honor, it's going to be pretty good. But capitalism with honor would work really well. But without honor, nothing works. I don't care what it is. You look at what happened with communism. Theoretically, it sounded good. But when the people didn't follow the way of honor, it got misused, and people used it to amass wealth for themselves and power because the honor wasn't there. So this takes us to the institution of politics. So in a political system, to bring honor there means certainly talking with respect to each other, dealing with the issues and not the personalities. Whether you have a democracy or some variation of it, or even if you had a dictatorship, let's say it was a king. If a king rules with justice and brings honor first, then you have great kings like Solomon, Cyrus, Darius. You have great kings. They can do great good. But once the person puts his own pride first, he is a devotee of honor, we put honor before pride. Honor before pride, honor before money, honor before life itself. Many forms of government can work with honor. I'll tell you right now, no system of government will work if honor is not there. To the extent you have honor, that system will work. To the extent you don't have honor, I don't care how good it sounds on paper, it's not going to work. Same with the corporations. Right now, so you look at, again, going back to the commercial enterprise, the philosophy of most publicly traded companies is this, because I deal with people on workplace stress all the time. The philosophy is, I want to squeeze every bit out of you I can get out of you and pay you as little back in return as I can get away with. Get all I can and give as little back as I can. There's no loyalty. As soon as you've been around and you're getting, I've seen this so many times, somebody's been in the company 20, 30 years, they're getting top salaries, and they realize I can get rid of him and get somebody for half the cost. I've seen corporate people get terminated, or they start stressing the person out, trying to force them to quit. Well, that's not honor. That's when you put money before honor. No loyalty, no heart, no soul. When people say it's just business, nothing personal, what they're saying is, there's no honor here. It's just about the money. It's not like I'm against you personally, but if I can force you out, I can get somebody cheaper. Hey, business is business, nothing personal. I remember in The Godfather, the Don told his son, they're going to set up a meeting, they're going to assassinate you. And then, sure enough, eventually, after the father died, Don Corleone died, son took over, who was played by Al Pacino. And then, sure enough, a guy tried to set it up. He realized this was the traitor. And then when they caught him, they said to him, "Hey, tell the Don I always liked him. It was nothing personal. It was just nothing personal. It's just money. It comes down to we're putting money first. That's what will happen. We really have to come where honor comes. And why they want the money? Because they want that respect. They're dressing in a nice suit, driving a Mercedes or Cadillac, having a big house. They feel they're somebody. Well, this person's a loser. It's a failure. There's nothing to respect. There has to be only the character, only the honor is successful. Only honor deserves that respect. You look at somebody who's, say, below average intelligence. So he doesn't have genetically not too capable of doing much. But let's say this person graduates high school, gets a job as a waiter somewhere, or he works as a laborer, he makes an honest living, he gets married, he's good to his wife and his kids. He's an honorable man. He's a success. I mean, that's wonderful. That's a success. Even though he doesn't have money and he's not that smart, he's a success. Whereas somebody who's super rich and bright and handsome and strong and whatnot, if he doesn't have honor, he's a failure. So we're really talking about a whole different way of viewing success. So we've talked about the news, we've talked about religion, politics. One arm of politics, of course, is the military, bringing honor into the military. So in the military, it may be necessary to, or even a policeman, it may be necessary to have to kill other people. Let's say there's a world tribunal, you have some way of organizing the nations, and if one nation is doing unjust to their own people or neighbor, then they all come and destroy that government. But when we're doing it, when it's being done, still they're human beings. The people are killing a human being. So there needs to be a time where there's a respect for the people that have to be killed, and wishing them well, wishing their families well. These things, it has to be done in the name of justice, in the name of preserving society. Sometimes this has to happen. Or we want to protect people who are going to be abused and killed and raped and plundered. And sometimes it's necessary to then destroy that government. And that can involve some deaths. And still, that would still be done. Regretfully, we've got to do this. We're going to have to shoot them. And it's done. It's done with that attitude. So we're bringing honor into the military as well. Certainly, we hear cases of a great deal of heroism in the military, even putting on that uniform and going into the battlefield. There's tremendous honor in saying, I want to serve my nation, I want to defend my nation. That in itself is a high degree of honor, right there in that intention. Now you look at the legal, another one of the dimensions that needs to be strengthened in the foundation of society is the legal and justice system. You look at the felons. Very hard to get jobs, a lot of shame. So I developed to bring honor into the prisons would be people becoming felons of light, from darkness to light, from shame to pride, from darkness to light, to become a felon, from felon to felon of light. Felon of light, and about 50% of felons do feel this way. We salute those who captured us, tried us, imprisoned us. You were a catalyst for our destiny. I remember talking to one patient. He had been in a gang, and it was somebody from another gang that had offended him or offended somebody in his gang. So he took 238s to get on a bus and go shoot him. Nicest guy, but he thought he was going to go shoot this guy. Well, the police caught him when he was getting on the bus, and he got, I think, about 6 years in prison. Hadn't shot anybody, but he had that intention. He had these loaded guns on him. Well, he got to see the gangs that come by. Nobody took care of his children, his wife during that time. He was on his own. He got to see, hey, this is what it was supposed to be. But he said, I'm really grateful they caught me because I could have murdered somebody. I could have murdered this guy, and what I've done to his mother and his family. And then I could have been sentenced to life in prison or death penalty, whatever. So he was happy they caught him. And in many cases like that, we salute those who captured us, tried us, imprisoned us. You were a catalyst for our destiny. And he became a hardworking guy, a good family man, worked very hard, had 2 jobs, supporting, he got married, his wife, and supporting the kids. He became a felon of light. So we really want to bring honor into the prison system. Well, of course, the people are being raised with this from their parents, and it's being taught in schools. The honor system being taught in schools. 4 commandments of honor, the bridge, the Supremacy of Honor code. There are also 25 laws of honor, but this will do the job right here. That's where people want to go to more advanced levels. So basically what we have is recognizing the oneness of humankind and honor. That leads to a truly civilized society. So as we strengthen the foundation of society, we're building a true civilization. Because without honor, the people are not civilized. To be a true gentleman, you have to be honorable. You can't be a gentleman. You could dress nicely, look good, and drive well, be well-spoken, but without honor, you're no gentleman. You're not even a man, you're just a male. Masquerading around as a gentleman, you're just a male. You're not even a man. Same with a woman. You can masquerade around, dressing well and speaking well. But if you don't have honor, you're just a female. You're not really a woman. You're not really a lady without honor. Honor makes you a lady. Honor makes a man into a gentleman. Without honor, there's no gentleman. Not at all. No matter how well he speaks, how he dresses. Yeah. So, again, we talk about seeing the interaction of the individual, family, the institutions of society, and the society itself, reinforcing the foundation, which is recognizing the oneness of humankind and recognizing the primacy of honor. So my privilege to present to you, strengthening the foundation of society, the 10 dimensions. Basically, we talk about releasing the potential of strengthening society and strengthening the morality and the virtue of society through the way of honor. So I'm about to lose power here. I'm going to open this up. I present a lot of material on this. I want to see if there's any comments. Michael, you want to say anything you want to say about it?
Yeah, I wrote something back about this. Like a child with a book of empty pages, expecting a coloring book with lines of structure. A person's need for guidance without it, the soul wanders recklessly for the structure that develops honor, that's responsible for the foundation of all physical and spiritual being. The commandments of honor from the Dr. Nerenberg system used regularly, without a doubt, can produce a personal metamorphosis in one's life in all aspects, for it is what has been lost in today's society. Without it, could and has and will lead to the means of personal and social destruction.
We're seeing that destruction now. But as we bring the primacy of honor, this whole intention was to stimulate dialogue, consultation, conversation between people of all beliefs, all religions, all philosophical and political persuasions, and certainly the need for guidance. Many parents just think their idea is to be an entertainment committee, to take the kid to Disneyland, baseball practice, ballet. That's all good. That's wonderful. Nothing wrong with that. But the main job is to give guidance, and give guidance. The foundation would be honor. And that's something that can cut it. All people of all religions could talk about honor. We've interviewed over 5,000 people on the street. I have over 1,100, over 1,200 now patients who've taken the pledge. We've interviewed people on the street. People all yearn to be more honorable. And it's not just a male concept anymore. Women have just as much interest of being disciples of honor, being women of honor, as the men want to be men of honor. So it's universal now. Honor is truly the language of the people at this time. You start talking about God or any particular theology, people get defensive. People will talk to you about honor. They will actually talk to you about it, and they won't get defensive, and because they have the same beliefs in what is honorable. It's very common. There's a lot of agreement on that. Universal, so that people of different religions could talk about it without upsetting each other and arguing over the theology, and the political parties can talk about it, because I'm sure whatever the parties are, they all agree on those principles. Tracy, is there anything you want to say or ask about it?
My question was, you said seek truth in all matters, and then you said oneness of what?
Well, the oneness of humankind. So he's saying the primary demand of honor is to seek truth in all matters, and the oneness of humanity is a truth that can no longer be denied. We all have this yearning to manifest a destiny, to do good in the world, to have comfort and security for our children. This is universal. There's absolutely no difference in terms of the basics of life. That can't be denied anymore. We can't say, well, this race is better than this race, this ethnicity is better than that. No, the fundamental is there, right across. The oneness of humanity cannot be denied any longer.
Well, I do agree. I feel that when you seek truth in all matter, you bring honor to whatever you're seeking truth to. It could be every single thing in all matter.
Well, that's the foundation. If a person doesn't seek truth, what are they seeking? They're just seeking to confirm their own prejudices, biases, and beliefs. When we really seek what is the truth, that will lead them to all good. That will lead to goodness, to honor, fairness, respect. All that will emerge from that search. A person, if they're seeking truth, doesn't go by something that their friend told them or even their father told them. Say, well, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm searching truth. I'm putting truth as a primary endeavor, and honor demands that. That's the primary demand of honor.
And I think that goes really well with when you seek truth in all matter. It goes really well with when you say, when you ask yourself, what is the most honorable thing to think?
Exactly. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So we do that 3 times a day with the commandments of honor. But then any situation we're in, that's the gold standard. And don't forget, the repetition is preparation for application. So a person in a situation, they don't say, well, what's going to make me happy, or what's the easiest thing to do? They go, no, what's the most honorable thing to do in this situation? That's always the question. Always. That's the gold standard. Thanks for bringing that up, Tracy. I appreciate your contributions a lot. And Jay, is there anything you want to ask or say?
Well, it's wonderful and guiding information in this lecture today. And, in reality, to succeed, to truly succeed in any one of the dimensions, you need to have honor. Everything has to be dealt with honor.
Without that, a person's a loser in the face. It's a redefinition of success. Now, it also is going to affect self-esteem. Self-esteem and self-respect, you want it to tie it only to your honor, because if it's tied on your looks, your money, your career, those things come and go. Time and people can take that from you, but nobody can take your honor. So it's not only define success, ultimately in this educational system and this way of reorganizing our perceptions, our self-esteem's tied to that. Our self-esteem and self-respect and self-confidence will all be based on being honorable. That's a whole different way of being in the world than now.
And I'd also just like to tell Michael what he said was really hit close to home. And was so truthful. It was really a wonderful statement that he mentioned.
Michael is a very deep man, and he's a poet and beautiful guy, beautiful heart.
You just need to get
I've known you a long time, Michael. I don't know, 40 years. I don't know how long. It's been a long time.
Michael, that was wonderful what you said.
Anybody else want to say something or ask a question? I'm about to lose my charge. If I do, I'm going to say goodnight now, but we have a little bit of charge left. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Just one more thing.
Yes, Tracy.
I just want you to repeat what you said. You said repetition
is preparation for application. By doing your commandments of honor 3 times a day, your bridge 3 times a day, your supremacy of honor at least once a day. I do it 3 times a day. Then you're ready. You're repeating it. You're always prepared to apply it because you never know what a situation is going to come up, usually unexpectedly out of left field, and boom, you're ready to go that way. So the repetition is preparation for application. That's why you're doing it 3 times a day. If you just heard this lecture today, you might say, yeah, I enjoyed the lecture. But I guarantee in a month, 3 months, a year, you won't remember anything I said. But if you're repeating the commandments and the bridge and the supremacy of honor code. And by the way, any people of different religions following this will just make them a better whatever religion they are. It's not going to make them worse in that religion. It's going to make them better. And there's a commonality where we can say, well, we share this in common, this way of honor. Again, it's meant to stimulate a dialogue and a cooperation of like-minded people who are basically decent and want to see more good manifest on earth. There's 2 points I want to put in at the end here. Now, I talked about the importance of parenting, the parenting style to show that unconditional love, be as expressive as possible. The other side of that is that it's natural for the child to have respect for the parent in a normal situation. That respect is natural. So I call that unconditional parental respect. As a child gets older, it's also normal to test limits. Here's the key point. Reward and punishment are essential for order in society. If a child is allowed to disrespect the parent, it's very dangerous for the child. People typically thought, well, he's disrespecting me, he's expressing himself, it's okay, but maybe it's a divorced family and say, well, he doesn't have his father here, so they indulge the child and there's no consequence. But what people need to know is you need to stop that through reward and punishment. Let the child know that is not okay. Why? Why is it so dangerous? Because the child disrespects you as the parent. The child will disrespect himself or herself because you're internalized within the child. So it leads to a lack of self-respect. And if they don't respect the parent, they won't respect the institutions of society nor the laws of God itself. So that's talking about the parenting. I say to the child, hey, that's not acceptable for you to disrespect me. I'm your mother. This is going to be the consequence if you continue to do that. And this is what I expect of you now, to apologize, and I expect you to behave in a respectful manner. Or it's not acceptable, I'm your father. That's not acceptable for you to talk to me, though. Here's be the consequence if you do it again or if you don't apologize now. It's important for you to understand this. It's very dangerous for your own development. You talk to the child about this, and there has to be those consequences. Now, we talk about the educational system. They don't respect, if the child doesn't respect the parent, they won't respect the institution of society, they won't respect the authority in society. So, when it comes to education, you could have a leaky roof, classroom, good teacher, leaky roof, and no computers even, or not the latest computers. Very compromised physical situation. But if the student respects the teacher, he or she will get an excellent education because then that transfer of knowledge could happen. If the child does not respect the teacher, it doesn't matter whether you've got a $10 million building or how much money you want to put into it, throwing money at it won't solve the problem because if they don't respect the teacher, they're just not going to learn the material. So for the transfer of knowledge, whether it's from the parent to the child or the teacher at school to the child, there must be that connection of respect. Absolutely essential. So I want to make sure that I mention that aspect, the dual aspect of parenting, of the unconditional respect, the unconditional love. The parent has unconditional love, the child has unconditional respect, but also has test limits, and it has to be dealt with. Reward and punishment is essential. Another point I wanted to make in terms of society has to do with homelessness. Because of the oneness of humanity, we want to treat the homeless respectfully. There's a great deal of homeless in America, but all over the world. And homeless, calling somebody, hey, he's a homeless guy, a homeless girl, is a pejorative term. To define somebody, whether they have a home or not, is kind of a negative terminology. So one way to help bolster the self-esteem of the homeless is to change the term from homeless to one that has a more positive connotation. I suggest the word the unbounded ones. They're unbounded. They can, in California, they can go up to San Francisco, they can live in Laguna Beach, they can choose where they're going to be. Also, a certain percentage, maybe 1% or 2%, if they preach the word of God, they'd be like holy men or holy women. Most of them probably can't do it, but some could. So we changed the term to unbounded. That was more dignity, which all people are entitled to, regardless of what race, religion, ethnicity, homed or unhomed. They're entitled to the dignity of proper reference, unbounded. Most of us who own homes and have jobs, we're bounded by our homes and the mortgage payments and going to work. And of course, that's wonderful that we're in that situation. But the others are unbounded. They can go to New York, come here if they find a way to move about. So that would be an important contribution to the self-esteem and self-respect to the people that were called homeless, that I'm suggesting be called unbounded. The motto that I've come up with for the whole honor movement is honor to the people. Honor to the people. That's what we're talking about, being an honor to the people. So that's the slogan. Also, I have a website that's a free public service website called honormovement.org for many videos on the application of honor, whether it's in terms of race unity, family life. In fact, this video now is going to be on that website, honormovement.org. I just want to say again what a pleasure it has been to present this to you. It's been a privilege to stand here before you and be able to share with you this to help stimulate dialogue between like-minded people who want to see a better world, to enhance and strengthen the foundation of society.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity, from strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.